Okay, apparently we're live. It says we're live. Please everyone, if you're watching this, confirm that like you can hear me and and all of that. I am right now. I'm stop. Okay. I'm pulling up YouTube on my phone. Here's literally what you're looking at right now. Um so yes, I great. People are saying I am live. The computer is like a foot away, and so if I'm like looking at the computer, I have to like go over here. So because I have a really cool setup going on. So yes, I am going to be just reading comments and all of that on my phone right here. Um, Left ear only. People are saying I'm in the left ear only. Um, how do I change that? Yes. Okay. This didn't seem to happen last time. How? Okay. One sec. This is the really fun part where I get to do technical troubleshooting to an audience of currently 178 people. On the bright side, I can't see any of you, so it still feels like I'm alone in this room. Okay. Okay. Checking this. Wow. Okay. Uh yeah, does anyone know in OBS how I change where the audio is? Like why is it only on the left? Um Let me see. Let me see. Um Yeah, weird. It says right here the balance is centered. Um, huh. Huh. Okay. People are saying what software are you using? I'm using OBS. Look, I never do live streams. I don't know how this stuff works. Uh, I don't know. Do I disconnect it and then reconnect it? I'm like, this is this is so confusing. Okay, one sec. I'm going to just lean to the right. Advanced audio properties, maybe. Hey, let's check it out. We're going to preferences right now. We are going to audio. Jesus Christ, there's so many settings. Okay, Swivelmaster saying if your input is stereo but only one input, it might be treating your first two inputs as one stereo input, which means you're on the left. If your mic is set through an interface, you might need to adjust there. It is through an interface. Mono would work, but how do I switch it to mono? I have no, oh God. Sorry, everyone. I'm just like looking at things on just in the settings. Oh my God. Make sure the mic jack is fully inserted, clicked in. It is. It is. I'm using a Focusrite. See, this is part of why I think subconsciously I like wait, someone just said all good? Is it better? Did something happen? I like didn't do anything. No one has said anything, but there are 250 of you. Okay. This is great. This is really exciting programming. Okay, so it's not fixed. Okay, one sec. I think I'm just going to try like disconnecting and then reconnecting it. Okay. Yeah, people are saying change it in like the set, like on the Focusrite, there's like so few buttons on this thing. Like it doesn't there's no place to say like mono or whatever. Um I'm like I'm not gonna share my screen with the chat. There's like there's too much going on here. Okay, wait, one sec. Alejandro Conterno is saying I record music and that does help sometimes. What helps sometimes? Okay, I'm literally just right now gonna disconnect the audio and then reconnect the audio. Here's what's annoying. You can hear me. You can all hear me. This is just like it's not just like not as good as it could be, and so I'm sitting here just like getting mad while people watch because it's like not perfect. One sec. Okay, now there is audio again. I think it's too loud. Okay, I assume it's still left channel. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, please, someone tell me do I do this in OBS? Do I do it in system preferences? Like, where do I change the balance? It doesn't tell me anything about like one sec. That doesn't help. Okay, folks, this is just dumb, and no one is telling me how to change the balance or one sec. Did that do anything? Okay, Aaron Place is saying something. In OBS, click the 3 dots next to your audio. Under the audio mixer, there should be click a checkbox that says wait. Folks, did that do it? Did that do it? I clicked the thing that said mono. Are we in mono? Did that work? Yes. People Okay. Want to give a big shout out to Aaron Place. Aaron Place gave the correct advice. You solved it. It's a miracle. I needed a drink, so I have one. Okay. All right. Hello, 267 of you. How's it going? How are you all doing on this Sunday night? A nighttime live stream. I know, so exciting. This is also, it's crazy to now have done like 2 live streams in a week. We don't do these. And so yeah, it's like, is this going to be a regular thing now? No, it's not. There's always the chance that we might do another one before the end of the year because we've got some stuff coming up that, could be relevant for, to do a live stream about. But yeah, no, this is like not a regular thing that we do. And, but look, the topic tournament has concluded, and it's fun to talk about this stuff because I gotta say, with the topic tournament, it's a thing that we did in early 2023, and it was fun. I didn't know if I'd ever do it again. We brought it back, and people got so into it. It was like, as much as it was a thing, an extra thing that we had to like work on all week while we were like writing and shooting the new video. It was just really fun to see how into it people got, how much they were, everyone was like supporting their topics and getting like really passionate about it. Also just like how many people like joined the Patreon to like, participate in this. It was great. And so look, you're here. I imagine you are all aware of what's been happening because so obviously as we saw, we have a winner. Wait, let me. So yes, okay. Here, look at this. I've got it figured out. So the winner is the music video to the music video director to Hollywood Pipeline, and Is It Dead? This is our big winner. This was a popular one right from the start. This beat Godzilla, and Godzilla was our #1 seed. Like when we were starting this whole thing, but when we were making the bracket, so. Also, I don't think I've mentioned before, unless you're in the Discord, you know about this. Emil is our fall intern. It's the first time we've had an intern since 2020, which is it's been a while. And so yeah, Emil, our intern, and he's been doing great work all week on this, helping me get it ready, making graphics, all of that stuff. Also, Emil and I were shooting a video all day today. Shout out to Emil, who's fantastic. And we were working on seeding all the topics. And I was just like, hey, go with your gut. You put them in the order that you think might be the most popular. And then I made some adjustments and I was like, look, Godzilla should be #1. Godzilla was such a major contender last time. And then as it turned out, Godzilla lost in the first round. And after that, I was like, I don't know where this is going. Anything could happen. Yeah, this is just like a true free-for-all, and it was really exciting to watch. And so yeah, the music video director to Hollywood Pipeline, which I think is just a really fun topic. I don't want to just give away what the eventual video is going to be because, also I haven't written it yet. I've thought about this a little bit, but as I'm sure a lot of you know, what this topic basically means is especially in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, it still happens occasionally, but not nearly as much as it used to, where you'd have music video directors, whether they were David Fincher or Michael Bay or Spike Jonze, Michel Gondry, Jonathan Glazer, the guys who had like the director's label DVD series. If you guys remember that from like the early 2000s, and then they would like make really exciting, like attention grabbing music videos, and then they would transition into like major movie directing careers, and a bunch of our our most important directors right now started in music videos. And again, it still happens sometimes. Like, the Daniels started in music videos, and it's just not as common as it used to be. There's a lot to talk about here. As I've mentioned before, we are absolutely going to discuss the work of McG, who directed a lot of videos for Smash Mouth, including All Star. So stay tuned for that and get excited. So that will be our season premiere. What we haven't really like announced, because this stuff is like doesn't really matter, the current season, which has been going since the beginning of 2024, is going to end in December. What does that mean? Basically nothing. The seasons are so arbitrary, where it's like, we didn't even start doing seasons until 2020. And yeah, it's just like every so often I'll just be like, let's call it the end of a season now, if I want to like make like a format adjustment or whatever. And so yeah, it just seemed like, it had been a while since we'd ended a season. I was thinking like, maybe I'd like a little break to then like make some adjustments to the videos, just like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to say too much, but yeah, I think we're going to make some like, just to like slightly recalibrate some things and just like keep it fresh and keep us excited about it. So we're not just like repeating ourselves. Like if you'll notice like the recent videos, especially if you've been watching on Nebula, so like Legacy Sequels Part 1, we just today finished shooting Legacy Sequels Part 2. And these ones, the music biopics one, they've been like, I feel like you can see me kind of itching, like, I want to like do stuff with like the lighting and like the staging and stuff like that, and I want to like shake up the format a little bit, and so it's been kind of like that. So yeah, so look, we've got a really fun December video planned, that I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy, especially people who participated in the Topic Tournament in 2023. And so then we're going to close out the season. We'll take like, I don't know, a month or so off like we generally do. And then we'll come back in 2026 with music video directors to Hollywood pipeline. Let me pull back up the comments. Okay, we're up to almost 300 people. By the way, okay, wait, we got a super chat from Kevin. Is it Kevin, please let me know. Is it Freitas? Freitas says, was just talking about film and film studies as a path my 9-year-old and his friend could take, so love being right after. I mean, look, I will say, I love that you encouraging your 9-year-old son to pursue film studies. I will say, that's the kind of thing that a lot of parents try to talk their kids out of, because there aren't a lot of jobs in this field, but yeah, like if like truly like I would love to see more kids get into this. That's awesome. So shout out to you and your 9-year-old son. I'm gonna smash that thumbs up button. Okay, we're over 300 now. Was it Squidlyverse? It says, Patrick, will you talk about Weezer? Look, guys, Weezer will be there. Like, the Buddy Holly video is going to, I don't know if I'm going to do 5 minutes on it, but it's gonna come up. So yes, I promise right now, Weezer will be mentioned. So there you go. Format change idea from Swivelmaster. Nebula cancels your show and replaces you with Jay Leno, so you reboot in a different format, Conan style. Freitas, Kevin, Freitas, thank you. Look, I don't know, we'll like email Jay Leno's reps and see if they want to do it. Okay. So, right now, let's go through the various matchups and talk about what happened here. So, first thing that happened, we had music video directors versus Godzilla. Wait one sec. Trying to adjust this and do like an effective. Wait. Oh wait. That didn't help. Wait. Can I do a good job here? Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I can like do a better split screen with this, or like can I crop it? I don't know. It's not a big deal. So we'll just do it like this, and oh wait, I'll just. Okay, you know what? This works well. And great. Okay, so we had music video directors versus Godzilla, and this was just a blowout. Like, I was shocked that this went the way it did, because Godzilla, was a returning contender from 2023, and was just, like, again, both times Godzilla has lost to the eventual winner, which feels appropriate. But this was one where, because Godzilla was in there last time, and Godzilla was submitted again, I was like, I gotta put him in there, because I know people care so much about it. It is something where, I think I mentioned this in the last live stream, I did realize, like, I think during the last topic tournament, I was like, oh, shit, there are so many Godzilla movies. I will have to watch, like, 30-plus movies, because so much of, like, the Toho Godzilla stuff is, like, a blind spot for me. I've just never watched it. And so, it's always nice when for instance, like, even though this year the Speed Racer video was obviously, like, a complicated one, and it was, like, an hour long, it was nice to only have to watch one movie for research, because sometimes, like, Legacy sequels, I watched a lot of movies. I watched a lot of movies that, like, aren't even, like, that don't even come up in the video. Like Peter Bogdanovich's Texasville, the Legacy sequel to The Last Picture Show. Yeah, I watched that, and then I realized, like, oh, there's not really anything to say about it in the video, and so, but yeah. So some videos require watching way more movies than others. Godzilla would require so many. Alejandro, Speed Racer video was goated. Thank you very much. Filmosophy says, says you should visit New Zealand and do a video about the Lord of the Rings and other movies made in New Zealand. Look, I would love to visit New Zealand. I actually just on Thursday, Dave and I got dinner with Tim from Hello Future Me, who's from New Zealand, and he was telling me all about New Zealand, and it sounds really great. I will say, I don't know if I have anything new to say about Lord of the Rings. Like, I just want to go to New Zealand. I've never been. And I love Lord of the Rings, but, it's been covered a lot, and I'm not sure that I have, like, a unique take on it. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just need to watch them again. Okay. So that was the first matchup. So, R.I.P. Godzilla. And then we had Gore Verbinski versus Netflix Christmas movies. So, Netflix Christmas movies, I would say, the least popular topic of the entire tournament. But I think it's a funny one. I'm just like truly, like, topics like that are just so outside of, like, anything I ever cover. Like, also stuff that I've just never watched and know so little about, especially the things that are, like, kind of light and frivolous, or, like, considered light and frivolous, and, like, more female coded stuff that, like, film dudes on YouTube don't watch. I think those are fun. I think this would have been a fun topic. Again, also one where I would probably have to watch a ton of movies that probably aren't very good, but I thought it was a fun topic. Gore Verbinski, another returning candidate or contender from 2023. I thought Gore was gonna do really well. I thought Gore was one of our strongest contenders. And Gore won in the first round, but did not make it that far. So, R.I.P. Gore Verbinski. I'm so excited for his new movie. I have heard it's very good and also very crazy. Gore is the best. If you haven't seen A Cure for Wellness, like most people have not, it's not a movie for most people. It is pretty gross and unpleasant, but I think it's awesome. And so if you think it might be for you, then you should give it a watch, because not enough people have seen it. Jackson McMahon says, wait, Gore's film played at a festival? Yeah, it was at Beyond Fest in LA. And some of my friends who will go unnamed on this stream missed my birthday party because they went to Beyond Fest to watch Gore's new movie. And I get it, because I might do the same thing. Okay, so next we had, this was an interesting one, legal dramas versus night scenes. Legal dramas returning also from 2023. It's just one of those things that, I think is fun to talk about. One of those types of movies that we just don't get enough of anymore, that like in the 90s really had its heyday, whether it was all the John Grisham adaptations. Also, I just love The Firm so much. But also, you got Denzel there from Philadelphia. You've got A Few Good Men. It's just like, the legal drama, it's a time-honored type of movie. It's wonderful. Again, just, so many of these things do come back to like the death of the mid-budget movie aimed at adults. But yeah, Presser Bias says Dane DeHaan has been miscast in every movie he's been in since Chronicle. Not A Cure for Wellness, baby, because in A Cure for Wellness, he's playing a sickly asshole, and that is basically what he seems like. Actually, maybe Dane DeHaan is like a wonderful person in real life, but he's like good at playing an asshole. Perfectly cast in A Cure for Wellness. I also think well cast in Oppenheimer. But yeah, legal dramas, I thought this was a fun one. Just, didn't stand a chance. Night scenes, I think I mentioned last time, is a topic that I literally already had on my list of like potential future topics. And so that's one that we might just make anyway at some point, because again, it was already on the list. And then when someone submitted it, I was like, oh, well, great. I clearly like that topic. I've thought about this already. And so yeah, night scenes. Again, the way, this is not just like, oh, talking about our favorite scenes, like set in the dark. It's really about like the history and evolution of the way that like exterior night is visualized in movies, whether day for night techniques, whether just like movies that are just like brightly lit with blue lights where you can see everything outside. Obviously the evolution of like film stocks that allow you to see more in low light. And then of course what digital has led us to, which is where you've got night scenes now where it's just like, it's like fully, it's like shooting at night with like no actual light there. And it's like, you can barely see anything. Obviously there's all the controversial, things like the Game of Thrones night scenes and stuff like that. And so there's a lot to talk about. Okay, wait, Kevin is back. Time for a Patrick movie plus wine drink pairing for members. Look, when we did the video about the death of the TCM Wine Club earlier this year, I did have a lot of people asking, or not even asking, but saying I was expecting that at the end you would launch your own wine club. Look, I would love to launch a wine club. I don't know how to do that on my own. That is not like a solo activity. I'm not going to start a winery. But like truly, if anyone at some wine company wants to like team up with me and I'll like curate, you know, wine selections or movie selections or whatever, I will gladly do that. But but yeah, it just seems like a massive undertaking, and I don't have the time or since I assume I need the money to do that, but would love to make it happen. So I don't know if any of you have connections to people who work at whether wineries or wine distribution companies or anything like that, tell them to reach out to me, please. Kevin is saying not a list. Sorry, just a list, not shipping actual product. Well, a list. Well, here's the thing about a list. It would take time to put together. I'm also, despite what I may seem like in the videos, I am not a wine expert. I don't know anything about wine. I just like it. So yeah, this would need some support, I do think. But anyway, so that was night scenes. One that could just happen at some point. Okay, wait, what are we seeing? There's so many comments. Let's see. Talking about Michael Mann and night scenes. I wish OLED tech was ubiquitous for Perfect Blacks. I think we're a long way off from that. Nosferatu was super hard to see in theaters, but it could have just been the projector they were using. I think it was the projector they were using. I saw that movie twice in theaters. Both times had no trouble seeing anything, but also that's a movie that I think is like very specifically calibrated to be like, it's gotta be projected well because it's so dark, the contrast is pretty minimal, but I think it does it well. I mean, it's the problem, like, you know, so many really dark, low contrast night scenes now that are like naturally dark. It just like, you better have a really good TV, you know, if it's on streaming, you know, like really like good compression, like low compression, are just like projected really well in theaters. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Music video Kojima. Let's keep on chugging wine, bro. Okay. What wine pairs best with Sideways? Not Merlot. Man, I haven't watched Sideways. I haven't seen Sideways in years. Maybe it's not since high school. Man, I should watch it again. Okay, anyway. Night scenes beat legal dramas. Then, this was one of my favorite matchups. Actually, this was the craziest matchup. Dreams in movies versus cell phones and texting in movies. This was the one where I swear to God, Dreams in movies won by a single vote. It was that close. Also, Patreon is really bad about, like, when you do a poll about giving you the exact, like, numbers. And so, like, it just, at the end of it, it was just like, well, it's 50-50. And I was like, who won? And I had to download, like, the spreadsheet that catalogs, like, every person's vote and then add them up myself and be like, oh, okay, Dreams won. But yeah, it was a 1 vote difference. By far the closest vote of the entire thing. Most of them weren't close at all. This one was crazy. Both topics I think could be really fun. Personally, I was kind of rooting for cell phones. Just whether it's the discussion about like the different ways that texting is visualized in movies, or then all of the directors who then seem to like avoid doing movies set in the present, who just make period pieces, because phones just, they kind of like, you know, many have talked about this before, but phones can be kind of like a narrative dead end because they solve so many problems. Whether it's like, oh, with a cell phone, you can like call anyone right away. You can look things up right away. It's like everything is right at your fingertips. And so, you know, it's helpful if it's like, oh, just get rid of the phones. And then, you know, the story works better. But Dreams, obviously, like, you know, Dreams, there's so much there. The entire history of cinema. There's so many different ways dreams have been visualized and used. Also could be tough to research because there's just so much. But yeah, that was a big one. And then, look, most 90s movie ever versus Pop Star. Look, I love Pop Star so much. It's one of my favorite comedies, maybe ever. I love the style. I'm a style boy for life. I do own a Style Boys sweatshirt. Uh, yeah, most 90s movie really, really kind of ran the table here until the semifinals. And we're going to get back to this. So, RIP Style Boys. Maybe I'll still find a way to, like, talk about Pop Star or the oeuvre of The Lonely Island. I'm a really big fan of the unauthorized Bash Brothers experience. Would love to find a way to talk about that. Also, great filmmaking in there. Co-directed by Mike Diva, who now does like so many of the SNL like pre-tape stuff. A lot of good stuff to talk about. But most 90s movie ever. Look, I've said this before, but when we did the most 80s movie ever video, I had always intended that to be like a recurring series. Do most 70s movie ever, most 90s, most 2000s, all that, most 2010s. Is most 2010s movie Spring Breakers? Quite possibly. But yeah, I loved the format. It was just that most 80s movie ever was, even if putting aside the narrative scenes, which are, fairly elaborate in that video, it just, like, the research and the writing and everything, like, that is the longest video we've ever made in terms of, like, regular videos. It is almost 2 hours. It basically took 2 months to make, and mostly for the research, because it's like you gotta research politics and cultural trends, and I gotta watch just an absurd amount of movies to, like, evaluate all the contenders. That said, because we've already done the 80s one, we do now have a format in place. So I know exactly how to approach it. We just now really need, like, the lead time to know what we're getting into, to be like, okay, this is going to be a big one. Give our researcher a lot of time to get ahead. So yeah. So that's that. And people clearly were into that idea. And again, we just put Space Jam on there. Space Jam would obviously be one of the contenders, but a lot of other movies could really be, give it, like, I think could put up a very strong fight. So yeah, I don't know who the shortlist is because I have not written or researched the video. Then we had, decline of comedy movies versus movie tie-in songs. So decline of comedy movies obviously made it to the finals. It made it to the very end. It kept doing really well, but also I did not see any other topic that so many people were so vocally against. Like, a lot of people did not want that one at all. And here's what I will say about the decline of comedy movies. I think I could make a good video about this topic. I do. I wouldn't have put it on the bracket if I didn't believe that. I have even thought about making a video about this topic in the past. It could still happen. But a lot of people pointed out that there are many videos on YouTube about this exact topic, called, like, the death of comedy movies, or why comedy movies died in the 2010s, or whatever. So it has been covered before. I haven't really watched those videos, and the channels that they're on are, even if they cover media, they do it differently than we do here. And so I don't think we would just make, like, a clone of those videos. I think we would have different takes and just approach it differently. And so basically, I think we would make something that unique, that would be worth watching, that would have new things to say. Also, I saw some people saying that this would just be a rehash of stuff from the Who's Killing Cinema video. And it would just be like, oh, it just comes down to the death of mid-budget movies. That plays a role. I don't think it's as simple as that. I think there are many factors that go into why Hollywood studios stopped making comedies. But look, it didn't win. So, who knows? Also, movie tie-in songs. I just love that topic. I was really hoping that would do better. I just think that's so much fun. It's something that I care a lot about, that I have thought about a lot, that, who knows? I could just make someday. I loved that one. I thought that one was such a fun topic. Let's see. ARP 17011 with the super chat says, superhero movies from the 30s and 40s are a history of Zorro, one of the most filmed superheroes ever that's barely acknowledged now. Well, look, I will say, back in 2020, I made a whole video about The Mask of Zorro and why it's great. Also, if you didn't know, going upstate to shoot that video is why I got stuck at my parents' house for 5 months. Because I went up to shoot that video for a weekend right when COVID hit New York City. And then I didn't go back to the city for 5 months. So yeah, shout out to Zorro for giving us the talk show era of the show. Look, Zorro could be a lot of fun. Superhero movies from the 30s and 40s. And I feel like that's mostly like the serials like Batman and Superman. But hey, there's stuff there. Let's see. Ted James says, Patrick, have you seen Cecil B. Demented? It's funny, I was just talking about this with Dave, I think. No, I have never seen it. And he was like, you've got to see it. So I've got to see it. No, I have not seen it. Okay, wait, another super chat. Mr. The Phony Pope. When LCD technology took over from CRTs in the gaming sphere, designers started avoiding the pure black scenes as the backlight glare made it problematic. Did anything similar happen with film or TV? I have no idea. You know what? I am not an expert on like the technology with those at all. Yeah, I lean toward no. I don't think filmmakers and colorists started avoiding pure blacks in movies, but genuinely, I don't know. And I do not want to talk out of my ass here. So, look, if that were a video topic, if we do the night scenes video, then I will research that. But currently, I don't have an answer for you, and I am very sorry. I do appreciate the super chat and you literally giving money to get my attention to ask that question. But look, the truth is, I just don't know. So, movie tie-in songs could come back just because I care about it. Then we had a returning matchup from the previous topic tournament. Both of these were in that one. Most New York movie versus movies about making movies. A thing that we've continually realized is that as much as I would like to think most of us would agree, even though, look, okay, let me step back for a second. I'm aware that plenty of people who don't live in New York have like a bit of a grudge against New York just because like it gets a lot of attention. New Yorkers, are always like, it's the greatest city in the world, all that stuff. But like, New York is basically the best movie city in the world. I know there's plenty of good ones. There are great movies set in every city. But New York just has more. Come at me. Give me your counter arguments, but like, New York is the best movie city. But also, people who don't live in New York don't care about this quite as much as New Yorkers do, or anywhere near as much as New Yorkers do. And so I'm not surprised it lost, because a lot of people are just like, oh, fuck New York. Like, come on, who cares how New York a movie is? Who cares that one time the Muppets took Manhattan? Who cares that one time there was a Manhattan murder mystery, but we're not going to talk about that movie because it's by a canceled filmmaker who we just, don't want to create awkward moments by discussing. Okay, wait. Wiley OFC says, my favorite video of yours is the needle drop video. It got me to binge the OC for the first time. Would love to know how you researched for it. Okay. So that video came out 4 years ago, but I can answer that question. I also love the needle drop video, and I want to say, even though we managed to avoid any copyright claims on that video, despite there being so much music in it. As in, we got some copyright claims, but I disputed and won all of them because it was all fair use. And so it was like a little bit of a minefield in there, but we got through. So as far as how we researched it, we did not actually have a researcher on the videos back then. I was doing it all myself back then. So what I did for that really was, I think I started, which, I've done stuff like this before. I just put up like a tweet that was just like, hey, what are your favorite needle drops, like moments using pop music in movies? And then took all the results and then the ones that I thought of myself and compiled like a giant spreadsheet of them all. And then I would go through the spreadsheet and look at all the different ways that they were used and kind of like break them into categories. So like the first thing to do was like break diegetic and non-diegetic, and then be like, okay, let's then within those subcategories, find the other uses. And really just the goal there, and it was a complicated video to make, was just be as comprehensive as possible. Like create a system of categorization that will literally cover every kind of needle drop. And I remember I was pretty close to being done with the video, and then I realized, I was like, oh shit, I didn't talk about the Boogie Nights scene with Jesse's girl and the Alfred Molina scene in Boogie Nights, which is I think one of the greatest uses of music in a movie ever. And so I was like, well, I got to add a whole section about that scene now. So yeah, that was basically it. It was just a lot of just very clinical categorization. Squidlyverse says, ooh wee ooh, watching the new Patrick Willems. And there's Patrick's parents. I don't care what. Very nice. Took me a second to realize what was going on there. Yeah, my parents are overdue for appearing in a video. As in, they were saying that to me recently. So I think next year, they're going to come back. I think they will. Ooh, Seeker says, I personally believe comedy movies will never truly die. All it takes is the right director at the right time to begin a new renaissance. I hope so. I mean, look, I loved The Naked Gun this past summer. I saw it twice in theaters. Just truly the hardest I've laughed at a movie in years. I'm glad it did pretty well. I was hoping it would be really big and just get everyone back and be like, didn't you miss laughing with a group of people in a theater? And so yeah, but look, it made a profit. It made it I think a solid profit. And so please make more. Okay, and then movies about making movies. People just like that topic. It's a cool topic. There's a lot to talk about there. There's so many of them going back to the beginning of cinema. So yeah, that would be fun. Then straight up, my favorite matchup of the entire thing. Just this graphic brought me such joy, where I was like, I wish this was the final. Just this to me here is this is the ultimate example of what the topic tournament can be. This made me want to do more topic tournaments because I'm look at it. Gundam versus Rob Reiner. When would these two things ever be side by side or facing off in this way? It's great. Gundam I thought was going to do way better because there were so many anime related ideas submitted where I was clearly people love anime and they want me to talk about anime. Here is the anime idea that appeals to me the most. Also, to be clear, this does not mean I will watch all Gundam because there's too much. It just says Patrick gets into Gundam. And I'm that's doable. Because also, as I've mentioned before, when I was in middle school and I was watching Toonami, I had a Gundam Wing phase. And so I've fucked with Gundam before. Yeah, it's happened. And I could fuck with Gundam again. Anything's possible. And then Rob Reiner is just such an interesting topic. You got just that run of movies from Spinal Tap up through, well, it's like Spinal Tap up through A Few Good Men, and then there's North, which is where he like falls off a cliff. I've never seen the movie, but no one likes it. And then The American President, he bounces back for one movie, and then it's like over. Yeah, it's such a fascinating run. Just so many great movies that like, are just so influential. Just like classics across the board. What happened? I don't know. But that's one where I'm like, I would love to make a Rob Reiner video. I will say, in terms of 80s comedy figures, not Rob Reiner, but I have a video planned that'll come out next year about a different one. So not feel free to speculate, but a different 80s comedy figure who I think is fascinating. There will be a video about that I thought I'd make this year and then never got around to it. Will it do well? Probably not, but you never know. I don't know. It's like when the videos about Streets of Fire and Grand Prix both did well, I was like, I don't know anything anymore because both of these are like unpopular movies that my audience doesn't care about, and they did well. So I was like, hey, anything could do well. So, okay, then we moved on. Music video directors versus night scenes. No contest. Music video directors just running the table here. Really just wrecking shit. Also, I feel like, I always wonder if like the choice of images has like a subconscious effect. People are just like, man, I love the weapon of choice video. So, wait, one second. Okay, Chew Beetle says, hey, Patrick, was wondering if you got any quirky, self-contained comics you want to recommend. Also, if you haven't yet read Monkey Meat, you should, or anything by Junie Ba, like his Boy Wonder mini. I have not read Monkey Meat. I should. I have bought the collection of Boy Wonder, but I haven't read it yet. So yeah, I have not actually read anything by Junie Ba yet, but I know people love him. Any quirky, self-contained comics? I don't know how quirky it is, but I did just recently read Spectators, the new graphic novel by Brian K. Vaughan and Nico Henrikon, which I thought was great. And that's fairly quirky, for explicit sex. But 90s movie ever versus movies about making movies. This was pretty close. Like, I really was thinking for a while that most 90s movie was gonna go all the way and win it all. But, like, look at that. 51-49. Wait. We're back. We're back. Stream's back. Okay. Yeah, it truly here I'm just like YouTube is telling me YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Great. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't know what that... It's like, is not receiving enough video? What is... I don't know. Live streaming. Am I right? Wait, we got a super chat in here. Okay, Mr. Ennui says... as Paprika got a mention in the Dream category, a video on the amazing career of Satoshi Kon. Kon or Cohen, I'm never sure. He only made 4 films, all top tier, would be fantastic. Okay. It's getting, apparently it's laggy. It's, I truly do not know what to do to, like, I guess, improve the bit rate or whatever. I don't know. I think it's looking all right now. Anyway, about Satoshi Kon. like, I am a fan of his work. I think he's great. Love Perfect Blue, all of those. I I feel like he's been talked about a lot. And okay, it's also maybe okay. Everyone said smoothed out. So a general thing. This isn't like a rule I strictly follow, but like if there's a filmmaker that the podcast Blank Check, which I assume a lot of you listen to, has already covered, then I'm like, it's not that I won't talk about any of their movies, but I'm like, I'm not going to do a video dedicated to that filmmaker because they have already spent hours and hours and hours talking about every single movie in more detail than I could. And so I'm like, I don't have anything to add that they haven't already said. That said, if I don't know, if I like rewatch Millennium Actress and I have like a new take on that movie, I could totally do that. But I don't see myself making a strictly Satoshi Kon video, just like about his whole oeuvre. Also, one day I've got to watch Paranoia Agent. That's the only one I haven't seen. I've always wanted to get around to it. Okay. So, okay, going back. Then, sadly, Decline of Comedy Movies, which just kept winning, beat Rob Reiner. Like, truly, again, I've already said Decline of Comedy Movies, like, you know, I would not object to making that video. I could make a good video. But every round, it just beat one that I was really excited about. And I was like, oh, come on. Also, what was interesting was, and I know a couple people spoke up for it in the Discord, but with Decline of Comedy Movies, I heard so many people talking about why they didn't want it, and then, but yeah, but not a lot of people saying why they were excited for it. Wait, is the stream okay right now? Is it working? Yeah, it seems okay. Okay. So anyway. Oh wait, yeah, viewing guide. And then this was the really intense one. This is the one that like I was really wondering about because again, these seemed like this could have been the final right here if I had just made the bracket differently. These two, you know, basically like could have gone all the way. Well, I mean, one of them did win. But yeah, most 90s movie ever versus music video directors. This one also, we had a little technical error. Me trying to do an update on the Patreon mobile app, and I accidentally deleted the poll 10 minutes after it had been posted, and then I immediately reposted it, but it started over from scratch. So like we really tried to notify people that like, hey, we lost the first 10 minutes of voting, please vote again. But if you look at it, 443 votes counted for that one, while that same day, 524 for the other one. And so about 80 people did not re-vote. Would that have changed things from 53 versus 47? I don't know. Probably not. But that happened, and I was really annoyed about it. And if you want to blame me for like throwing that vote, you can. I blame the Patreon mobile app for not being set up well. But yeah, so that was that. Then, once again, Decline of Comedy Movies, beaten Dreams and Movies. Did putting the Anchorman image there, like, sway it? I don't know. Which brought us to the final. The final... This... Guys, watching this when it began yesterday morning was genuinely stressful. I'm sitting there, like, texting Emil, just being like, I don't like the way this is going. This is, like, because I, like, at that point, I was like, I don't want Decline of Comedy Movies to end. Sorry, to win. Also, I know some people noticed I did kind of put my thumb on the scale. I did ask people to vote for music video directors. I will say, if people got mad at me about that, um, I saw more people responding to that by saying, well, now I want to vote for the one that you don't want to win. And so people don't listen to me. People are going to vote for whatever they want to vote for. I can guarantee that just, because I can see this stuff, me posting about that did not lead a bunch of people to then sign up for the Patreon to vote the way I wanted them to. I did not get my friends involved in this. I don't think I had any impact. But when this started out, initially, Decline of Comedy Movies was winning, was up 53-47, and I was stressed. And then they it slowly evened out and then went in the other direction. And then here we are, 59-41. That's pretty impressive. That's a really good run. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think music video directors are the pipeline is just a really fun topic that I have not seen a video about. And also I love music videos, especially the ones of that era. I mean, guys, all of the Spike Jonze videos that I get to talk about, the Sabotage video. I'm going to say a really underrated Spike Jonze video that I do not see people talk about is for Electrobank by the Chemical Brothers. It's the one, it stars Sofia Coppola, who famously was she married to him, or was she and Spike Jonze just dating for years? Anyway, it was when Spike Jonze and Sofia Coppola were together, and it is just Sofia Coppola as a gymnast doing ribbon dancing, a floor routine. And yeah, it's just a Chemical Brothers song with her just doing gymnastics. And it's great. It's really great. And I get to talk about it. And then oh my God, I mean, really Chemical Brothers videos are the best. Let Forever Be by Gondry did that one. Just, one of the best ever. And then you get fun stuff where what is it? Rhythm Nation by Janet Jackson. That video is by Dominic Senna, who would then go on to make movies that aren't very good, such as the remake of Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage and Angelina Jolie. I know people have nostalgia for it. It's not very good. And then Swordfish, maybe the dumbest movie of all time. But that guy in the 80s, major music video director. Even before, I think a bit before Fincher. So Master says, Let Forever Be, IMO, best music video ever. It's just it's an astounding video. Also, I love that song so much. It's the two, look, I love the Chemical Brothers. If you haven't heard, I think their most underrated album is Further. It's if you haven't heard it, give it a listen. But their two Noel Gallagher collaborations, Setting Sun and Let Forever Be, which both kind of riff on Tomorrow Never Knows by the Beatles. Just two amazing songs, great videos. I think the Setting Sun video is by Dom and Nick, who are a really underrated music video duo that did stuff like Ava Adore by Smashing Pumpkins, incredible video, and in my opinion, the only good music video that Oasis ever had, which is Do You Know What I Mean? My favorite band, love them to death, did not have good videos. Actually, the best Oasis video is the YouTube video that's just the clips of Noel Gallagher doing commentary on Oasis music videos and talking about how bad they are and how much he hated making them. That's the best. But yeah, Dom and Nick, really underrated. But and then they did not make movies, to my knowledge. Okay. So this is what happened. We got a winner. I'm excited about it. I think it's a great topic. The people also seem excited about it. I didn't see anyone saying, I don't like that topic and I'm not going to watch that video, which is great because I like it when people watch all the videos. But so I did have this thought because I was like, people are very passionate about various topics here. Um, uh, and there are so many good topics that it's kind of a bummer that only one gets to win. And what I also noticed, this is going somewhere, is that so many people joined the Patreon to participate in, in this whole thing. That was really articulate in this whole thing. But yeah, I didn't think so many people would actually sign up for the Patreon so that they could vote and submit topics. And it was really exciting. Hundreds of people did, which is not what I expected. And I talked about this on the last live stream, but Patreon used to have this feature of goals where you could set various milestone goals for oh, when we reach this number of patrons, we'll make this big project or whatever. To motivate people to join, sort of like a crowdfunding thing, and they got rid of it. And so what we have had on here for a while is this thing, where I just made it a post where we have our own milestone goals, and they're there. And, but I also assumed, we're just never gonna hit these. It's just not gonna happen. And then so many people joined, and right now, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, if you checked, we currently have 1,353 members, which means that we are 47 people away from hitting this goal, where I will do the thing that people have, I swear to God, been asking me about for years, for at least 6 or 7 years, to go through that expansive shelf of graphic novels that's in my living room that has just gotten bigger with time, and just talk about everything that's on there. It would not be a regular video. It would probably be on the second channel. It would, of course, come out early on Patreon. But, we're 47 people away from hitting that goal, which is crazy. I mean, if you're watching this and you're not a Patreon member and you want to see me... Also, it would probably take, 2 hours, at least, to just go through and talk about what all the books on there are. I would probably lose my voice talking about comics. But so, yeah, we're so close to that, which is amazing. And so I had this thought that because now we actually might hit Patreon goals again, people seem to be motivated by this, and there was such passion around other ideas. This is why, as you may have seen today, we decided to do a poll for the runner-up to see what people wanted to see. And it's really interesting seeing all 15 of them kind of laid out here to really just see, you can just see the popularity of each idea based on its votes. And very interestingly, despite Decline of Comedy Movies making to the finals, it only has 10%, while Most 90s Movie has 18. It is in a commanding lead. Godzilla has 10%, Movies About Making Movies has 10%, Rob Reiner has 10%, but Most 90s Movie has 18. And this is, I mean, look, the poll ends tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And so anything could happen, but it looks like it's probably going to be Most 90s Movie. That's it. If you want to turn the vote around, start voting right now. But here's the thing. Hello, Brendan. Just joined the Patreon. I am going, after the stream, I'm going to add this to the post with our, one sec. Come on. Oh, God. Oh, God. Patreon, what are you doing? I am going after the stream.
Oh my god, no.
Okay, wait. Here we are. So, when this stream ends, I am going to go into this post about the upcoming milestone goals and add a new one at 1,600 patrons. Okay? 1,600. Because we're almost at 1,400. I will make the winner of the runner-up poll. Okay? It's like we've got to hit that goal to make it happen. We need 246 of you to do it. But yeah, if we do that, then yeah, then I will make whatever wins, which looks like it probably will be most 90s movie, but could be anything. Well, someone just joined right now. Because yeah, it's just like these are good topics, and it's also one of those things where it's like, for most 90s movie, as I've said, it takes more time, it takes more research. The extra money from the Patreon could literally just go toward the extra time, paying the researcher overtime to do all that work for it. And so yeah, we would put it to good use. But just want to let you know right now, I imagine most people watching this are probably already on the Patreon, so I don't know, tell your friends or whatever, but that is that's what we're gonna do. If we hit 1,600, we will make the runner-up winner. Yeah, we'll make the runner-up as well. So it's like you get 2 winners out of 1 topic tournament, which is pretty exciting. That said, I'm not saying when we'll make the runner-up, because if it's most 90s movie, we'll need a little bit of time for that. But yeah, but it will happen. I promise. And so that's all. That's what I wanted to say. Let me check the chat right now and have a drink. Ugh. Let's see. Make the Irish cinema video. Look. There were multiple submissions about Irish cinema. There was, wasn't there one about yeah. I feel like there were multiple ones. I mean, it would be fun. It's just that as much as it's a small country, there's a lot of Irish movies, and it's tough to figure out how to talk about just all of Irish cinema. Let's see. King and Commenter says, were there any topics rejected because you were already planning a video on them? Let me think. I think there might have been one. I mean, there were some that were already on there, for instance, night scenes, where I was thinking oh yeah, we might do a video on them. I think there was one topic submitted that was straight up this is already scheduled for next season, and so there's no point in even putting this in the tournament, because that would just be cheating. So I left that off. The Irish one is probably a video he'd make eventually anyway. It's niche and weird. Yeah, I mean, I'd also want to shoot it in Ireland, have my mom in there as well. Let's see. Sinners is anti-Irish cinema. So, first of all, the Rocky Road to Dublin scene in Sinners is a contender for my favorite scene of the year. I love it so much. It's also just I've always liked that song, and this is just a great rendition of it. My Letterboxd review for Sinners got the weirdest reaction, because it was a joke about, how it's a movie about how you should never trust the Irish. And this is going to be a huge shock, that a lot of people on Letterboxd were really, just humorless scolds, who then thought I was actually attacking Irish people in my review, And then when I pointed out that they were just like they had no sense of humor and they were just like being annoying, they're like, well, that wasn't funny. I would laugh if it was funny. Instead, you're just being offensive to Irish people. I'm like, I'm Irish, you idiot. It's like people on Letterboxd are I like the platform. I think it's good. People on there can be so annoying. Letterboxd comments just insufferable. Um, let's see what else we got here. So we won't just say most 90s movie is Demolition Man and call it a day then. Look, Demolition Man, a strong contender, but there's so many contenders. And there's also, it's like, how do you look at like early 90s versus late 90s? Are there like different eras of 90s movies? I mean, it would be really fun to talk about. Also, unlike the 80s, I lived through the 90s, and so I could say more about it. Has Patrick even mentioned novels once during this stream? Well, the thing is, my actual favorite topic submission, which is novels discusses the work of Lars von Trier. I did not put her on the bracket, despite me thinking it was so funny. Also, I was filming with novels all day today, so like we've been together a lot. We shot the first time we've ever shot a scene with novels like in a public place, like in like an exterior location. We shot a scene with novels in Central Park, and it looks so good. It's just him sitting there in like a real environment. It's just like it really looked amazing. I was just in the way that like puppets are cool. I just thought it was great. Let's see. Patrick, find me 11,000 votes from most 90s video. Let's see. Yeah, it's always the semifinals that get the action. Finals is a victory lap. It's true. It's true. And so, do you think Michael Jackson will say he in his biopic? Yeah, I think it's got to happen. Patrick, make a third Trains video. I mean, if you watch the last live stream, you know that like multiple people submitted Trains Part 3, which, let me tell you, I don't think third time would be the charm on that. I think Trains Part 3 would do even worse than Parts 1 and 2, and also I don't know what more I have to say about Trains. Although there's like that isn't that Idris Elba show on Apple TV has like a new season set on a train. Yeah, is the first season on a plane? I haven't watched it, but I saw the ad where it's like, Idris like on a train looking intense, and I was like, maybe I have to watch this just for like the brand. Okay, wait. Mr. Ennui says, despite coming out in 1999, Blast from the Past is a strong contender. I have actually never seen it. But let me tell you, if we make that video, I will watch it. Mr. The Phony Pope says, topic HDR. I've heard that oftentimes the true version of the movie was SDR, HDR being made as a contractual obligation. Curious what you know about this whole realm of color brightness weirdness. Genuinely, what I know about it is not a ton. Plenty of people are like real serious nerds about just like home theater stuff and specs and screens and all of that. And I want it to look good, but I'm also like, I'm not obsessive about my home viewing situation. I'm just like, I like physical media. I have a TV that I like a lot that I, calibrated well so it looks right to me. But I'm not like doing extensive research about this. I'm truly not the person to ask. I'm very sorry. Let's see. The Shockman Cometh says, why you ever attempt, I think this means, will you ever attempt a large ongoing plot line like the Charles Saga again? No. No, I don't think we will. That was a really interesting, we literally did that as like an experiment, just to like try a new thing to just like stay excited about making the videos. 1 sec, I'm gonna you know do that, or do that, and then whoops, and then haha, and now let me. Okay, so yeah, as far as like a long ongoing storyline, it's just the kind of thing like it was really fun to do. It's just like a new thing we hadn't done before to just like try it out, see if it would work. We always knew there was an end point. Obviously, Night of the Coconut took longer to make than we anticipated. We didn't think it was going to be a feature film, but it was always just kind of like meant as like a one-time thing, and it's also hard, and it's like it really takes up a lot of time and effort, even if you're doing something like a really silly thing, because you got to have that on top of the regular videos and like be planning ahead in terms of like, oh, what story beats do we put into what upcoming episodes? And look, the thing was, when we finished Night of the Coconut, there was of course the temptation to go, oh, do we like double down and go into the next season and like just keep this going? And look, and like, we just like for fun like kicked around ideas for like what could happen then, and we just realized that like we would only ever like shrink the audience going forward if we like kept like really like focusing on that, and also I'm just like, I don't want to only make YouTube videos forever. Like if all of the narrative filmmaking I work is just on YouTube, then I'm not going to have time to like make movies and stuff that could actually like like change my career and like move it off of YouTube to doing other stuff. And so yeah, there was now I'm just being like very like open about the process of this. When we came back after Night of the Coconut for the new season, we did, even though we weren't planning on doing like a whole big like elaborate storyline again, we did introduce a bunch of like narrative elements that were fun, but that I realized like I don't know where this is gonna go, and like working them into every episode, especially when there's no destination in sight, is just becoming like kind of a headache. Whether it like, and there were things that we brought up that we just never resolved or mentioned again. Like, I don't know if anyone cares about this at all, or if we just do it to amuse ourselves. But yeah, we had things like, we established in like the season premiere back in like September 2022 that Matt Torpy became a famous movie star, and starred as himself in a movie about the events of Night of the Coconut that is also in the universe called Night of the Coconut. And we had this idea that where it's like, oh, at some point, maybe we'll like, I don't know, meet, just like befriend some famous actor, and then shoot like a fake scene from the movie within the movie where like, I don't know, some famous actor like plays me or whatever, and we have them with Matt. And again, all of these things are just like, this would be fun if it was just like a TV show, but I'm like, I don't know how to integrate any of these into video essays. And it's just, and so yeah, so then we kind of dialed that stuff back. So anyway, that's a really long answer to a pretty simple question. So yeah, iRen0 just said, is that a vice versa poster? Yes, it is. Poster for Vice Versa. Wait, watch. Let me zoom in on this. So Vice Versa, the 80s Judge Reinhold comedy. Yeah. Sorry for like the shakiness. I think this is the greatest movie poster of all time. I love this poster so much. The thing that's really amazing about it, also just like look it up online so you can see it better. It's the 80s. There's no Photoshop. This is a photograph where all of those things like falling over had to be like glued in there or posed perfectly because it's a photo. It's so great. I love it. The movie itself is like, I don't know, it's like pretty fun. I've seen it once, but the poster, I think is a work of art, and so I have it on my wall. I'm gonna zoom back out to just like regular me now. Oh yeah, so I should probably go soon. Um, um, okay, yeah. People are appreciating the poster. Yeah. Hey Patrick, would you ever just do a simple video giving your thoughts on the now concluded DCEU? Um, I don't think so. It's just I don't know. Like there are just like a billion videos that are about like superhero movies, and I'm like, do I have anything to add to this? It's like I don't know the DCEU. It's like yeah, most of it I wasn't crazy about. And then there were like a couple things in there like that I thought were okay. And it, it largely didn't really work. And also I don't want to rewatch all of it. So yeah, I probably will not make that. Dan Gibbons says Matt Torpy as Matt Torpy, Will Arnett as alternate Patrick H. Willems. See, that would be great. That would have been fun. If only I knew Will Arnett. Let's see. How's your clone doing? Well, he's not my clone. He's just alternate Patrick from a different universe. He's good. I mean, here's the thing. People seem to forget about this, but we did see him again this year. He's in the Speed Racer video as like a post-credit scene, like our credit scene during the Patreon credits, where he did like a mini Patrick Explains about Speed Racer, and I shot that in Mexico. Yeah. That was actually originally going to be in the main body of the video, and then we actually cut several minutes out because it was slowing it down too much. But yeah, we had a little appearance by other Patrick. So yeah. Let's see. Anything jumping out at me that like I've got to answer. Patrick, can you make a video about Star Wars? No one has ever made a video about that. I will say Legacy Sequels Part 2 does discuss Star Wars, among many other movies, but it talks about Star Wars. Film essay lore and continuity is very 2010s and doesn't age well. I don't fucking care. I mean, like, are people going to be watching these in 5 years? I'm doing these to amuse myself now. And also, I've never watched any of the other channels that like have like lore or whatever, so I don't care. This is purely to just entertain myself because I think just like only like writing essays forever is boring. That's all. Sorry. But yeah, this is for me, not you. Okay, wait. Oh, Swivel Master is Aaron Nemoitin, who submitted the winning topic. Congrats. Great topic. Just also, you must be excited that, it sailed on through and won. Okay, wait, we're talking Grant Morrison. I am a very big Grant Morrison. My favorite Grant... Okay. Which of their work do you think is the most essential? That's tough because there are so many. In terms of most essential, I will admit I haven't read The Invisibles since... I have read The Invisibles. I have every volume like in the next room. I haven't read it since like my sophomore year of college. So it's been a while. I should really reread it. I do feel like I should say the most essential Grant Morrison comic is like one of their originals, not like All-Star Superman. You know what? No. Maybe Flex Mentallo. It's like, it's Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, the greatest team ever. Frank Quitely, my favorite artist. I love him so much. And just like Flex Mentallo, it's not even like I love it, but it's not even my favorite Morrison. But it's like it's one book. It's Morrison with their perfect artist. You get such a perfect mix of like superhero-esque stuff, but also like full psychedelic weirdness. Um, I'm gonna say that. And which is your personal favorite and why? My favorite? Damn. That's really tough. I do really love All-Star Superman. I also really love Sea Guy, which has been out of print for so long. But one of my favorites, Sea Guy, the sequel to Sea Guy the Slave, yeah, Sea Guy the Slaves of Mickey Eye, has never been collected. But yeah, Sea Guy I would put up there. We Three I would put up there. Seven Soldiers of Victory I think is one of the greatest Morrison things ever. Also, God, Multiversity. The Frank Quitely issue of Multiversity is just so staggeringly good. Man, Morrison's great. I will say, I'm even looking forward to reading their upcoming, or is it out already? Batman Deadpool. Just because it's like Morrison is writing a superhero comic and Dan Mora is drawing it. You get the Klaus team back together. That's gonna be cool. Comics are really good, guys. Okay, guys. I need to run because my voice is just getting worn out from all this talking. I don't know how like podcast people just talk for like endless hours all day every day. My voice gets worn out if I talk too much. And also I've had like a long day like running around the city shooting a video. But yeah, basically thank you for watching. Thank you just so much for like participating in the topic tournament and sorry, let me turn. Okay, yeah. For participating in this thing and getting excited about it, and then also just like watching the videos and everything. So again, remember, tell your friends that 1,600 patrons, I will make the runner-up video as well. You've got about 12 more hours to vote. So vote wisely. Good luck there. You know, I'm excited to see how it goes. I think I might know how it's gonna go just looking at the results right now, but anything could happen. It's totally possible. Stay tuned. New episode coming this week that I have to get back to editing. All right. Good night, everybody. Talk soon.